Hi, Curtis Kelly here again with a special extra for this module, an optional video. We're going to talk about kids who just don't get it, We've all had them. Kids, there's some kids that seem way ahead on the line of brain development, the smart ones. And then there's those kids way behind, the ones who don't get it. This is especially apparent in math. You explain something very carefully, step by step, and they still don't get it. You can't help thinking they're slow, not as smart as the ones way ahead, and you're absolutely correct. But assuming there are no disabilities that cause them not to get it, then why? Why does this happen? Why are there some kids that just don't get it? Think about that for a moment. Their cognitive skills are worse than the whiz kids, but that's not good. But the key word here is the other one, slow. Is it possible that that might be good? When I was in elementary school, there were two kids, Sally and Doug. They were like the superstars. They got every award. Every time there's an assembly, they'd be on stage. We all just really admired them, and their grades were higher than everybody else, and they graduated first and second. But then, compared to that, I was just kind of mediocre. But then, in junior high school, these star kids that we thought would be geniuses just became average, mediocre, nothing special. What a surprise. And I thought about that for a long time. Then later, when I was in college, I started reading evolutionary biology books written by Stephen Jay Gould. Believe me, these books are far more interesting than they sound. He was like the Malcolm Gladwell of life sciences. And Gould wrote this one thing again and again that intrigued me. What was it? Something called neoteny. And that is, in different species, across species, longer, slower brain development correlates with higher intelligence. So, dogs have better brains than frogs. Monkeys have better brains than dogs. It's not just about size, but it's more about time. There's longer parenting involved. The younger the organism has more interaction with the environment, and as a result, that organism has greater behavioral flexibility with the environment. For example, in human beings, in the brain, myelination and dendritic development, neurons connecting to each other, in monkeys, it's completed usually during the third year. And it happens at the same rate as with humans. So both humans, 3-year-olds, and monkey 3-year-olds have about the same level of intelligence, the same number of abilities. But our development continues. And that development continues all the way up into our 20s. So, we have longer brain development, and thus we're smarter than monkeys. Better brains take longer. So it hit me. If that's true across species, might that also be true within species? Could it be that our smartest kids are the ones that take the most time for their brains to develop? Could that be why Sally and Doug became just kind of regular students again when they became junior high school students? Their brains were just developing very quickly, and they stopped during their junior high school years. I mean, the rest of us caught up with them, I should say. So I began to read on that. Is it also true for human beings? That better brains take longer to develop? And that's when I discovered J.N. Geed, a person who said just that. I'll let you read this yourself. So in human beings too, kids that are slow are not slow because they're stupid. Of course, they might be because of some disability. We don't know about that. But otherwise, if they're neurotypical, it's not slow because they're stupid. It's because they're smart, or they're going to be smart. So think about the implications of this. What are we doing in our educational system? Are we engaged in some kind of better brain punishment because we put people in the same grades and give them the scores based on the same thing, even though their development might not be the same? Think about all the people who were poor at school in their youth, but later became geniuses. Here's a few, but there's many, many more. Better brain punishment. We've got tons of evidence of that possibility throughout history. Lots of famous people did poorly in school as children. But our society is built on performance, on scores, and we use that information to label people. So how many Rawlings, Lincolns, and Einsteins have we mislabeled? Remember that the next time you meet a learner who just doesn't get it. Thanks for joining this extra special session. Curtis Kelly here, saying goodbye.